Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Before I start this video, I would like to say a big thank you to CB Electronics who believed in us and provided us with all the materials needed to shoot this video.
Big thanks to our supporters, yes it's true. CB legends, we shine through you. Charming Antonio's Pizza too. Matai Fitness Zone, thank you.
Okay, so in this video, we're going to make a full recap of the most important ideas we learned in C++. And this video is here to help you revise, understand the logic behind programming, and more importantly, learn how to think when you want to solve an exercise. Because let's be honest, a lot of people think programming is just a syntax, but no, programming is also logic. Programming is also problem solving. Programming is also learning how to think step by step. So in this recap, we're going to go over what programming is, what an algorithm is, how a C++ program works, variables, input and output, conditions, and loops. Okay, so now let's begin. What programming really is. First of all, what is programming? Programming is the process of giving instructions to a computer, so it can perform tasks and solve problems. Now, very important guys, a computer is very fast, but it does not guess. It does not understand vague ideas, and it also follows exact instructions. So if your instructions are clear, the computer works correctly. If your instructions are wrong, incomplete, or badly organized, then the result will also be wrong. Programming is not only about writing code. Programming is about building the correct logic. That's why syntax alone is not enough. You also need reasoning. Computer, hardware, software, and binary. A computer is an electronic machine that receives data, processes it, and produces output. So basically, it takes something in, does some work, and then gives a result. A computer system contains hardware and software. Hardware means the physical part, and software means the programs and data. Computers internally use binary, meaning 0 and 1. A simple way to think about it is this. Hardware is the body, software is the instructions. And of course, both are necessary. Algorithm. An algorithm is simply a step-by-step solution to a problem. Before writing code, a good programmer first thinks about the steps. Simple real-life example, make tea. Break it into steps. Boil water, put tea in the cup, pour hot water, add sugar if needed, and drink. That is an algorithm. So before coding, always ask yourself, what is the problem? What are the inputs? What is the output? And what are the steps in the middle? Program development phases. When we create a program, we usually go through phases. Problem analysis, algorithm design, coding, testing, and maintenance. A very useful model to remember is input, processing, output. Whenever you feel lost in an exercise, come back to these three questions. What is the input? What is the processing? And what is the output? What is a C++ program? A program is a set of instructions written by humans and executed by computers. The normal cycle is write code, compile, run, get output. Very important note, writing code is not the final step. The compiler checks your code and translates it into a form the computer can understand. So always remember, there are two things to care about. Syntax and logic. Your first C++ program. Okay, now let's look at this classic first program example. Include IOStream. This line includes the input-output library, so you can use cout and cin. Using namespace std lets you write cout instead of std : cout. Int main, this is the main function. It is the starting point of the program. The left curly brace opens the body of the main function. Cout lower than, double quote, hello world, double quote, okay, semicolon, print the text hello world on the screen. Return 0 ends the program normally, and right curly brace closes the main function. Very important note, guys. When you look at a code, do not panic. Break it down line by line. Variables. Now, let's talk about variables. A variable stores data, has a name, and has a type. For example, char for one character, string for text, int for whole numbers, float or double for decimal values, and bool for true or false. Char letter equals a creates a variable called letter of type char and stores the character a. String name equals ad creates a variable called name of type string and stores the text Eli. Int age equals 20 creates an integer variable called age and stores 20. Float price equals 3.5 creates a float variable called price and stores 3.5. Double pi equals 3.14159 creates a double variable called pi. It is a decimal type, usually more precise. Bool past equals true creates a Boolean variable called past and stores true. Before creating a variable, ask yourself what kind of information you need. This is how you choose the correct type. Constants. We also learned about constants. Const means the value should not change. Const int max equals 100. It creates a constant integer called max with value 100, input and output. Programs becomes more useful when they interact with the user. Let's say you need to write a code that asks the user to enter his name and age and print a sentence that includes name and his age in a year. Let's break this example into smaller parts. How should you think before writing this code? First, what information do you need? Name and age. So first, you need to create these two variables. String name declares a string variable called name, and age declares an integer variable called age. What do you want to display? A message asking the user to enter his name and another one to enter his age. Do I need to save these info? Yes. Cout, enter your name, displays a message asking the user for the name. cname reads the user's input and stores it in name. Cout, enter your age, displays a message asking the user for the age. cnage reads the user's input and stores it in age. And finally, do you need a calculation? Yes, age plus 1. So let's end our program by writing cout, hello, name, next year you will be age plus 1. This displays a sentence that includes name and calculates age plus 1. Arithmetic operators. Now let's move to arithmetic. We use arithmetic operators for calculations. Int x equals 10 creates an integer variable x and gives it the value 10. X plus equals 5 adds 5 to x. Now x becomes 15. X plus plus increases x by 1. Now x becomes 16. One of the most useful ideas for beginners is the remainder operator percentage. If number percentage 2 equals 0, the number is even. Otherwise, it is odd. Useful libraries. We also saw some useful libraries. Themas gives math tools like POW, SQRT, ABS, round, floor, and seal. CCtype helps check and transform characters like is digit, is alpha, is upper, is lower, to upper, and to lower, etc. To use a library, first we need to include it in our script. For example, include cmath adds access to math functions. cout pow to 3 and l calculates 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, then prints it. cout sqrt16 calculates the square root of 16, which is 4, then prints it. Characters checking with CCtype. Here is a simple example using CCtype. Char C declares a character variable called C. CNC reads one character from the user. If is digit C checks if C is a digit. Cout digit runs if the condition is true. Else, which means otherwise, cout not a digit runs if the character is not a digit. Boolean values and comparison. Now, let's move to conditions. C++ has a type called bool, and a boolean can only be true or false. Comparison operators like equal equal, not equal, lower than, greater than, lower or equal, and greater or equal. All these operators produce Boolean results. For example, bool result creates a Boolean variable called result. 10 greater than 5 compares 10 and 5. Since 10 is greater than 5, the result is true. Equal stores that Boolean result in the variable, and after this line, result contains true. If statement. The if statement executes code only when the condition is true. Let's write an example where you need to print adult when an age is higher or equal to 18. How you think here? There is a condition and there is one action if that condition is true. So if is enough. You need to ask the user for his age, save it inside a variable, and write an if statement to check the value of age. If higher or equal to 18, print adult. There is no else because the exercise did not mention what to do when the age is lower than 18. Int age declares an integer variable called age. Cout, enter your age, asks for age. CnAge reads the age. If age is greater or equal to 18, checks whether age is greater than or equal to 18. Cout adult prints adult only if the condition is true. If else. The if else structure allows choosing between two actions. Let's modify our code to print minor when the age is lower than 18. If age is greater or equal to 18, checks if the person is 18 or older. Cout adult runs only if true. Else, otherwise, cout minor runs if false. This is the structure to use when there are exactly two outcomes, even or odd example. Very good exercise because it mixes arithmetic and condition logic. Take 2 minutes, try to solve this exercise.
Big thanks to our supporters, yes it's true. CB legends, we shine through you. Charming Antonio's Pizza too. Matai Fitness Zone, thank you. Yes, it's true. CB legends, we shine through you. Charming Antonio's Pizza too. Matai Fitness Zone, thank you. My cue. My cue. Big thanks to our supporters, yes, it's true. CB legends, we shine through you. Charming Antonio's Pizza too. Matai Fitness Zone, thank you. My cue. Big thanks to our supporters, yes, it's true. CB legends, we shine through you. Charming Antonio's Pizza too. Matai Fitness Zone, thank you. My cue. My cue.
I gave you 2 minutes. Let's check the solution. Int number declares an integer variable. Cn number reads the number. If number percentage 2 equal 0, divides the number by 2 and checks the remainder. If the remainder is 0, the number is even. Cout even runs only if the number is even. Cout odd runs if the number is odd. Nested if. Nested if is useful when one condition depends on another. For example, we need to know if an age is above 60 to print senior adult. If between 18 and 59, we print adult, else we print minor. If age is greater or equal than 18, this line of code is the first condition. Is the person an adult? If age is greater or equal to 60, this is the second condition inside the first one. Is the person 60 or older? Cout senior adult runs only if the second condition is true. Cout adult runs if age is between 18 and 59. Cout minor runs when age is below 18. Again, this structure is useful when one decision depends on another. But there is a simpler way to write this code. Logical operators. Logical operators help combine conditions. Let's dive into this example. If age is greater or equal than 18 and age is lower or equal to 65, checks two conditions at the same time. Age must be at least 18 and at most 65. And means and, so both conditions must be true. Cout adult runs only if both conditions are true. This is a good example, guys, of how logical operators can make your code cleaner. Switch. The switch statement selects actions based on one variable value. In this example, switch day starts a switch structure based on the value of day. Case 1, if day equals 1. Cout Monday prints Monday, breaks, exits the switch. Same concept, guys, for the other cases. Default runs if no case matched. Cout invalid choice prints an error message in the default case. Use switch when you compare one variable with many exact values. Loops. Loops allow repeating instructions multiple times. So the real question is not only how a loop looks, the real question is when you should use it. For loop. Use for when you know in advance how many times you want to repeat something, when you know where you want to start and where you want to stop. In the example shown on the screen, for int I equals 1, I lower or equal to 5, I plus plus, this line has three parts. Int I equals 1 starts the counter at 1, I is lower or equal to 5 keeps the loop running while I is less or equal to 5, and I plus plus increases I by 1 after each repetition. Cout I prints the current value of I, then moves to a new line. So if you run this code, you'll see on the screen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiplication table with for. The multiplication table with for is a great example of a known number of repetitions. How to write a code that asks the user to enter a number and print its multiplication table. First, you need to know the input. Here, the input is an integer. Second, you need to calculate the multiplication table. For example, let's say the integer is 3. To create the multiplication table, we need to multiply 3 by 1, by 2, by 3, etc. So it seems we're repeating the same instruction 3 times x, and x is changing from 1 to 10. Here we need to use a for loop. The example code shown on the screen is the solution for this exercise. Let's break it into parts. Int n declares the number whose table you want. CNN reads it and saves it in n. For int I equals 1, I is lower or equal to 10, I plus plus repeats 10 times from 1 to 10. Cout x equals n times I prints one line of the multiplication table. While. Use while when the number of repetitions is not known in advance. When you want to stop based on a condition not linked to a set of repetitions directly, you need to use while. For example, if you don't know if the player is winning the game or not, you keep playing until you reach a condition where the player wins. Keep in mind that the condition is checked after executing all the instructions inside the while. If the condition is false, but there is a couple of instructions left to execute, the code is executed. It reaches the end of the while, then it checks the condition. If false, it exits the while. The code you're seeing on the screen is a good example of a while. Int password equals 0 creates a variable called password and gives it an initial value. While password is different from 1234, keeps looping while the password is not 1234. cin password reads the entered value. cout access granted runs only after the loop finishes, meaning the correct password was entered. Do while. The do while loop runs at least one time before checking the condition. Character choice declares a character variable called choice. Do starts a do while loop. cout, do you want to continue? Ask the user a question. cin choice reads the answer. While choice is different from n, the character n, it repeats the loop while the user's choice is not n. The important difference is that the code inside do runs first, then the condition is checked. Nested loops. A nested loop is a loop inside another loop. Check the code on the screen. For int I equals 1, I is lower or equal to 3i++, this is the outer loop. It controls the rows and it repeats 3 times. The second for, this is the inner loop. Controls the columns. It repeats 5 times for each row. cout star, it prints 1 star. cout and L, it moves to the next line after printing 5 stars. So the result is a rectangle with 3 rows and 5 stars in each row. How to think when you want to solve an exercise. Now here is the most important part of the whole recap. When you want to solve an exercise, do not start by guessing the code. Start with the logic. Use this process. Read the problem carefully. Find the inputs. Find the outputs. Find the processing or the logic. Choose the correct structure, then write the code. Okay, so let's wrap everything up. Programming means giving clear instructions to a computer. A computer follows the exact steps. That is why logic matters so much. An algorithm is a step-by-step solution. A C++ program is written, compiled, run, and produces output. Variables store data. cin reads input, cout displays output. Conditions let the program make decisions. Loops let the program repeat instructions. And the biggest message of all this, think first, code second. That is the programming mindset you want to build. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope this recap helps you understand C++ better and gives you more confidence when solving exercises. Keep practicing, keep testing, and remember that making mistakes helps you learn. And don't forget to like and subscribe.